Hello and welcome back to the channel. I am Alan. This is my partner in crime, Leanne.
Hello.
Back for another video. Tonight is Summerslam. It's weird. It's a Saturday. There's a pay-per-view event on tonight. It's usually AEW runs their pay-per-views on Saturday, but as of I think it was Revolution, they changed it to a Sunday night. I don't really know why WWE have changed this to a Saturday night, but hey ho, here we go. I should probably preface a bit more. This is going to be a predictions video. You've probably already seen that from the title card anyway. I've just dropped my pen.
Nothing happened.
Cover for me. I'm going down.
Do, 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 do.
Nothing happened. Yeah, so we're going to run down the card. We're going to give our predictions of who we think is going to win. And we're going to talk about that basically. And then we'll do a reactions video, which will be uploaded tomorrow after we've obviously seen the event.
Yes.
So it's going to be 2 days, 2 videos. Yeah.
The good thing about being on a Saturday is that we can watch it on Sunday without having work and stuff get in the way. So that'll be nice.
Although I'm just going to preface this now. I do talk a lot about AEW during WWE videos.
It's because it's better.
Because it is better. All the WWE marks will be like, no, it's not. They haven't got Vince's money. Spoiler alert, they friggin' do.
They do.
Look it up. Tony Khan's father is worth about 6 times the amount of Vince McMahon. Deal with it. But last night's Rampage, holy
CM Punk.
like CM Punk has officially signed with AEW. And there's the massive rumours that Daniel Bryanson's going to be signing with them as well.
Yeah.
You know? And then you've got the free agents, you've got Ruby Riott, you've got Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman, just to name 3 of the top big guys from there, and girls obviously with Ruby Riott, all potentially heading to AEW as well.
Yeah.
Like, I know people are like, oh, well, AEW's just an old WWE playground, blah, blah, all the old guys are going to WWE. But you look back in the 90s, the late 90s, WWE was the old playground for WCW.
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, Booker T. All of them guys were in WCW first, making their name.
Yeah.
Then they went to WWF at the time.
Yeah. All the big companies start somewhere and get their wrestlers from somewhere. It's the trick is how they use it. And it's like there's a lot of people saying that WWE is better because they have big names like they had Hulk Hogan and they had The Rock and all this. But that's all past tense. What WWE is now isn't great. What AEW is now and what it's doing with the names that it is getting from WWE, that WWE are letting go, they're doing better stuff in AEW. So it's the present moment that we're interested in because this is where we are. We'll happily look back at old WWE matches, WWF matches.
Yeah, we're subscribing to the network.
When it was good.
Yeah.
But the product as it is at the moment, AEW trumps it.
Absolutely.
100%.
You watch the matches in AEW, you watch the matches in WWE, and it's no competition.
Yeah.
There's really no competition. And even so, like with AEW, they give their stars creative freedom. Aleister Black was being constructed. Yeah. He was being choked. The life was being choked out of him. They took away his special entrances. They kept him off TV for months. The Fiend. They've kept him off TV since WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That's April. And then they fired him. They got rid of him. Like, during a pandemic, they've let about 30, 40 guys go and made them jobless. Other companies have stepped up and said, hey, come to us, you know, and they've given them that platform. Like Aleister Black. He went to AEW, and as soon as he turned up, everyone flipped on Cody, was like, holy this is Malachi Black.
Yeah.
And they started booing Cody over Malachi Black. You know, and it's, this is so good. And obviously with the advent of CM Punk now, like that crowd reaction on Rampage, oh my God, that was like a stone cold pop.
Yeah, it's going to be so interesting to see where they go.
I can't wait, I'm so excited for this.
But that being said,
we got
Summerslam.
Yeah, Summerslam, like I said, we do still like WWE, we wouldn't be covering it otherwise. But they just need to up in the game.
Oh,
honestly,
yeah.
You know,
if they want to compete, they've got to do something different.
That's the problem, they won't.
The thing is, they try and do something different, and then they bring in like Retribution?
Retribution, yeah.
That's the one. And then do a few things, and like, ooh, this could get interesting, and then they just drop it. But there we go. Anyway.
Yeah, that's it. It's the product has to win. It's like when they did the whole Sting versus Triple H at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
There was no way Sting was going to win that because they're not going to have the WWE guy get beaten by WCW guy.
Yeah, that was the whole thing with like DX and everything was that they were fighting the system and they were winning, and that's what made it great, because people want to see the man lose. Even if it can't go on forever because you have to change up storylines, but if the company always wins, where's the fun in that?
Yeah. So, I haven't got these in any particular order. I've just jotted them down as I remember the matches. So, first up, we've got the Raw Tag Team titles. RK Bro versus AJ Styles and the Giant Omos, who are the current champions.
I've quite enjoyed this RK Bro sort of...
I have and I haven't.
Roller coaster.
Yeah. I do feel that Randy Orton's pulling Riddle in a bit more than what he used to.
Yeah.
Like his whole stoner shtick really used to annoy the hell out of me.
Yeah, and he did sort of come in with like telling him to shush and zip the lips and stuff. And he has sort of toned him down a little bit. And now he's sort of, rather than the stoner, he's turned into just a real friendly, happy guy. And the whole thing where Randy went off for a bit and then came back and he was like, RK Bro isn't a thing, I'm on my own. And then it was the whole like coming together, and Riddle didn't give up on him. He's like, oh, I quite enjoyed it. I know you don't like Riddle.
It was almost like a Disney Hallmark moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was cute. And the emotion that Riddle put forward when Randy was like, don't call me bro. And you could like see his heart break. It takes some good acting to pull that reaction off. So he's pretty good.
Yeah. I'll give him that. On the other side of it, AJ Styles and Omos, I don't feel they're being used that much.
No.
Like, AJ Styles is literally one of the best in the business. And
Omos is a giant.
After they won the titles at Mania, there was a month and a half when nobody saw them.
Yeah.
Like, what? And then they've had like 4 matches since they've come back, and it's... I don't understand what they're doing, but I think that I just think they're just really failing with the whole tag team scene at the moment.
Yes.
I really do. Whereas, again, AEW is just skyrocket.
Yeah,
you know?
It's definitely like bottom of the card kind of.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if either that one or the SmackDown tag titles get pumped to the pre-show.
Yeah.
And then the other one is probably the second match on the card.
Yeah, in the worst spot.
Because I don't think Vince likes tag team wrestling. I get the feeling he does not like tag team wrestling.
Missing out. He can get some real good stuff. Some of the guys on WWE do some great stuff with tag team wrestling.
I don't particularly like the Street Profits, but they're good in the ring.
Oh yeah,
I'll give them that. Same with New Day.
Great double team.
Yeah, same with New Day, like Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, who are missing from SummerSlam.
Where have they been?
Like, I think the last we saw them, they're in the background with a shirt thing on.
Yeah, trying to sell their shirts in the background of.
Oh, it was Miz and Morrison, wasn't it? It was Miz and Morrison were talking, and they were just in the background by our shirt, and it's like...
It's just a reminder that we haven't actually seen them for ages.
Like, they're the longest running tag team champions in the history of the company.
They're fan favourites.
And they're not even on SummerSlam. Like, what's going on?
No.
I don't understand the logic behind that.
No, it doesn't.
But then, give it another 3 months, they'd probably be fired as well.
Ooh. Oh. That'll be a nail in the coffin if they fire New Day.
I did see a rumour that they're going to rejoin Big E to the New Day during the next draft, but that's not till October. RK Bro versus AJ and Omos. I think it could be good. Like, Orton trying to hit that RKO on Omos for the last few weeks. That's been quite entertaining.
He's been trying. He hasn't got it yet. So this is the one where he's going to get it.
He's going to have to, right? They're going to just pummel him. They're going to take AJ out of the equation. Pummel him, slam him with an RKO. I don't what you got?
I think RK Bro gonna win.
Yeah, I think the same.
I feel like it would be a nice sort of cherry on the cake. They've had their problems, they've come back together, and then they're gonna win, and it's gonna like solidify them as a team for a bit.
I don't know. I still think they'll be dysfunctional.
Yeah. Oh, they'll still be.
I still think Orton's like the dad figure.
Yeah.
And Riddle's like the little child who's got ADHD or something, and he's running around like a creep.
It's like when they did sort of decide that they were gonna stay together, and Riddle was dancing about in the ring. You could just see Randy Orton mouthing, "I ain't doing that." So good. That tickled me. So yeah, they're going to be dysfunctional, but they're a good team.
And at least they'd probably get used because it's Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Vince does like Randy.
Yeah, he does.
You know, that's something at least.
Yeah. That's my pick.
Yep. So we both got RK Bro on that one. Next up, we've got the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Dominic and Rey Mysterio versus Jimmy and Jey Usos, who are the current champions. They regained the belts from the Mysterios at the pre-show for Money in the Bank. I remember calling that one. I said the Usos were going to win it.
I think it's a bit tricky in this time, isn't it?
I don't know if I even care about this match, if I'm honest with you. Like, I've seen this match too many times now.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we've seen it so many times, and it's gone both ways and different reasons, and there's both sides are cheating. And it's like, usually it's one side is going to cheat to win, the other side is going to be squeaky clean and either win or not. But now we've got both sides playing dirty, which I guess the Mysterios need to play dirty if they're going to beat the Dirty Plain Usos.
Yeah.
But, I mean, last time, Dominic tried to cheat and got caught. Like, lol.
Got ejected, well, ejected.
And then pummeled.
And then Rhea lost the match.
Yes.
So, with that, this could be the start of the breakup of the Mysterio family. Ray's like, oh, you should listen to me more, you should do this, you should do that. You're trying to mentor him like a father does to a son.
You never learn.
Yeah. But Dominic just seems to keep kicking out on his own.
Yeah.
So who's to say that, let's say for example's sake that Dominic costs them the match because he's cheating, or so they get disqualified, or they just, the communication isn't there and he screws up and the Usos win. Who's to say he doesn't just go, well, I don't need you, F off. I'm going to go on my own.
He has done it, I don't need you, Dad, kind of thing. Going down to the ring on his
own. Or just like, I don't need you, and smacks him one. Setting up a feud. Like Ray versus Dominic,
That could be interesting. Because Dominic isn't quite, he hasn't got the build to do the lucha stuff so much, I don't think.
No.
And he's doing the 619 stuff and all that, and it's sort of, it looks a little bit clumsy just because I think he's too tall for it.
Yeah.
I know some guys can pull that sort of thing off when they're tall, but I think because he's learning from Ray, who's a lot shorter, I don't think it's translating quite as well, and I think he needs to find his own style. So going out on his own might be a good opportunity to stop trying to mirror his father. Like,
they could really swing hard into this and go down the Eddie Guerrero route.
Ooh.
Because they had that storyline where Dominic was supposedly Eddie's kid.
Yeah.
With Rey Mysterio when Eddie was a bad guy. Who's to say they don't just go, well, I'm going to copy my Uncle Eddie anyway, so screw your style, I'm going to copy Eddie. Because I think he's got about the right build for that. He's a bit taller, I think, but I think he'd get away with it. Eddie wasn't so much of a luchador, but he could do some really good stuff. Yeah. You know? So that could be an interesting one.
Could be.
So who you got on this one?
I think Usos will probably win it.
Yeah.
It could be that Dominic tries to cheat again and they get disqualified, I think.
Or miscommunication.
Yeah.
Anything like that. Anything that would mean that Dominic costs Ray the shot, and then Ray's like, I told you to listen to me, blah, 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 blah. And Dominic's just like,
You're not my real dad. Oh,
yeah.
Wait.
Eddie's my dad, screw you.
I don't care what the paternity test said. Yeah.
So that's the 2 tag team title matches. The only 2 tag matches on the entire card, actually. There's a few non-title matches. There's a few title matches, obviously. Next one we're going to cover is Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal.
I've got Shea, Rock to win.
And Shea and oh my god, what's his name? Shanky. Veer and Shanky, I'm mixing them up. Veer and Shanky are barred from ringside. They're not allowed to come to ringside. They've been interfering a lot in obviously recent matches with the 3 of them, with Jinder, Shea and Veer and Shanky. I'm doing it again.
Yeah, Prop Rock to win.
Prop Rock's going to win.
Yeah.
Angela's going to win.
Angela.
The name of his sword is Angela now.
Which he is allowed to bring to ringside, but not use because it's not a no DQ.
Yeah, it's not a legal.
I feel like it's silly that he is threatening people with a sword. It's silly that Jinder Mahal and those guys are scared that he is actually going to stab them with said sword. I get sort of, he's got a sword, so he might as well use it. But you get
that would be classed as like murder.
You get WWE realistic, and then you get threatening to stab people with a sword. It doesn't. I know it's not. Obviously, it's like not meant to be real. It's fictional stuff, but it just doesn't ring. It doesn't have the ring to it for me. It's like it just makes them look stupid because they're running away from a man with a sword in a wrestling ring. He's not going to stab you. He's on live TV.
I mean, what are we going to get next? Like, someone else brings a sword in, they have a sword fight in the ring instead.
No.
This is a sword fight match.
And
Wait,
he has,
what?
like, sort of used it. He's slapped people, I think, with it, isn't he?
I think with a flat end.
Yeah.
They
Which
did
is all
have
they
that
would be able
whole
to do.
chair versus sword thing at one point in Raw as well. With the three, Jinder, Veer and Shanky had the chairs and Drew starts swinging and... yeah...
I think it's nice that he's named the sword after his late mother. Angela is still a strange
I think
name
it
for
would
a
have been
sword.
funnier if it was an axe, because then he could say his mother was a battle axe.
Yeah.
Thank you, I'm here all week.
Yeah, so this match is basically in my head just like a, what are you doing?
Yeah, I get the feud, I get the thing with the motorcycle, which never really went anywhere. They kind of trashed the bike and nothing went anywhere with that.
And then, yeah, no retaliation because Drew has a sword.
Well, I guess the retaliation was them trying to beat down Drew, and then Drew
has a sword.
takes the chair to I think it was Shanky, like 34 times?
Yeah.
He was wailing on him, big time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn, dude. And his back was messed up after that. That was grim. That was grim.
They can have a nice rest in the back now because they can't go back to ringside for this match.
Yeah. But again, it's Drew. Last year, we won the title from Brock. He was at the height. He was there during the pandemic era. He was there front and centre, and he was interesting.
Yeah.
And then they kept pushing him and more and more and more, and I just feel that he's just become a bit old hat now, and it's just like...
It's a pattern. It's the same with Bianca Belair. They win the title, they get pushed, they get boring. Mm-hmm. And it happens too quick, because they push too hard.
Roman Reigns has been doing that for years.
Yeah.
And yet he's still mouthing off saying CM Punk can't draw a crowd.
Nah.
Fuck off, Roman. You can't draw a crowd.
So, Drew to win anyway. No, it won't even be close, I
Yeah.
think.
The only way that Jinder could probably win is if they pull out someone else.
Yeah.
Veer and Shanky might be barred from ringside.
Mm-hmm.
But what if someone like the Great Khali turns up?
Oh, okay.
And just smacks Drew behind the ref's back. Like, that's the only way I can see Drew, Jinder winning it, so I'm gonna go with Drew as well.
Yeah.
Just because it seems that Vince has got a bit of a boner for Drew right now.
Big sweaty men.
Big sweaty men.
Yep.
Speaking of Belair, the next match is the SmackDown Women's Championship. Bianca Belair defends against Sasha Banks. So this is the second time these guys are going to fought. I'm going to just put this straight on the table now. The WrestleMania match was great. Mm-hmm. I don't think this one's going to be anywhere near it.
No
I think this is going to fall so flat, and the crowd is going to be like, whatever.
The thing is, they won an award for their match, and they're going to try and recreate it. They're going to try and get it as high. And when you're trying, it's not going to work. It needs to be natural.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's going to fail.
Yeah. We also might have interference in this match.
Carmella and Zelina Vega.
Yeah.
Zelina Vega, who returned to the company to be with her husband, who about a week after was released.
And she hasn't won a match since.
And she hasn't won a match since she returned.
It just sucks.
Vince needs to just leave.
I just hope she didn't sign a really long contract.
I don't have the details for that one.
She needs to get out, I think.
Yeah.
She'd be used better elsewhere. And if she can be with her husband, then all the better.
Yeah. I thought it was a dead cert that she was going to AEW, and then she turns up on SmackDown, and I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Bianca on SmackDown fought both Carmella and Zelina Vega back to back. Beat them both, which was quite obvious that that's what they were going to do. But will it give a window for Banks to win, do you think? Is the question.
I think it's going to depend on the crowd interaction. Like, if the crowd's anything like us and we're getting a bit bored of Bianca Belair, I think Vince will want to pull the title off her and put it back on Banks. A face is generally better when you've been dumped in this situation, much like Bianca Belair has been, as we said earlier with Drew. You get the title, they skyrocket, and they just kind of fizzle back down to earth.
Yeah, because it's the struggle to get there that is the engaging part.
Mm-hmm. So I think that potentially, and we've covered this before with someone, I can't remember who it was, the rubber match.
Mm-hmm.
So potentially, Cesaro and Seth, that's what it was. Potentially, it could be the case that Banks wins this one, gets the belt back.
Yeah.
Gives her a strong foothold again, and she's got her cohorts in Carmella and Zelina Vega.
Mm-hmm.
And then Banks has to maybe jump through a few hoops to get a rematch.
Yeah.
Or knowing Vince, he'll just go rematch on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Done.
Next
you
week.
know, less than a week after, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think this could end up culminating in a rubber match.
Yeah.
But the problem is, if this match crash and burns so hard, no one's going to be invested in the third one.
No.
That's the problem.
But will that stop WWE from doing it?
Nope.
Nope. Definitely not.
So I'm going to go for Sasha.
I think I'd say Sasha as well. I think they've built up Belair very strong with the two matches that she did on SmackDown, and it's gonna be the sort of try and get that shock factor when she actually loses kind of thing.
The only other way I could see this going, and that's I'm still going with Sasha, but Bianca Belair pulls it out somehow, and all three of them beat them down, and Becky Lynch returns. Because there's absolutely no question in my mind that when Becky Lynch returns, it's not going to be to Raw, it's going to be to SmackDown because her husband's there.
Yeah.
And they've got that newborn baby. Like was it 7-8 months old?
Yeah.
So there's no way they're going to split them up. So that's the only way I see this going down, is that Sasha loses, she gets pissed off, Carmella and Zelina jump in, they all start beating down Bianca Belair, and out comes Becky Lynch for the save.
Yeah. Could be. That'd be interesting.
I mean, the fans have been clamouring for Becky Lynch.
Yes.
I mean, Charlotte made reference to it on Raw.
I do. I miss Becky Lynch. Yeah. She's good.
Next up, Alexa Bliss versus Ava Marie. Now, given the graphic, which will be on the screen somewhere here probably, somewhere. She does have Dewdrop in her corner. Dewdrop, what a secret name.
I know. Should you just call her Piper Niven?
Piper Niven, yeah. What's wrong with Piper? Just, if you don't want surnames, Piper's fine.
I think it's just because it's meant to be Ava Marie taking control of her life.
Ridiculous. Just like Ava Marie being in a wrestling ring again. Oh, thank you, I'm here all week. This has just been pathetic.
Yeah.
Like, Alexa Bliss deserves better than this.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's an interesting storyline with like Lily and everything, but they could be paired off against anyone, but it has to be Ava Marie.
The thing that bugs me is that Ava Marie returns and all of a sudden she's the centre of attention on Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
Where was the payoff for the Nia Jax Shayna Baszler thing?
Yeah,
because there wasn't really a big payoff.
No, they basically just Nia Jax is doing her own stuff now.
Yeah, well, no, against Alexa Bliss. I mean, so like they had that thing where Shayna was terrified of Lily and scared of Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax now, but then it just kind of went. Let's put that over there. Let's focus on Ava Marie instead. Let's be honest, she can't. So she never can, she never will, she's ridiculous, she shouldn't be in the company again. They fire Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt, Aleister Black, Ruby Riott, just to get Ava Marie back. Nope, don't think so.
It's
hate
wrong.
that. Absolutely hate it.
I know they've been sort of playing into the fact that she's not a good wrestler by having Dewdrop sort of come in and actually do all the heavy lifting, but it's still not worth having her in the company.
No.
Just meant to be eye candy, I guess.
No. Her voice is so shrill.
I know. I think Alexa. I think that Ava Marie will try and get Dewdrop to interfere, but Lily will get control of Dewdrop, and Dewdrops will attack Ava Marie, or at least not be able to interfere in the way Ava Marie wants her to.
Yeah.
And hopefully that will help with the split of Dewdrop.
There's certainly a lot of
Ava Marie.
tension between them.
And then Dewdrop can become Piper again and do her own thing. And Ava Marie can
like
go off
maybe
and sit in the corner.
UK, because I think she's overrated personally.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Next up is Edge. I just realised the graphics going to be on the card. I think at that point, so I'm going to go Edge.
Just keep doing it. It'll be on screen eventually.
Against Seth Rollins. This match has been teased for years.
Yeah.
Obviously, Edge has retire. Seth Rollins had that thing where he's going to try to stomp him on the Money in the Bank briefcase. And this has been building up for quite a while. Obviously, Seth Rollins has cost Edge the Universal title against Roman Reigns a couple of times. I think this could be potentially a show stealer.
Yeah.
Like, Edge is undoubtedly one of the best ever.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Absolutely ever. And even like with his neck injury and stuff, he still has to be careful and whatnot, but he can still go. My God, can he still go? And as much as I don't like Seth Rollins' character, he can go as well. He's had some great matches.
Yeah, he's really good. I've quite enjoyed the build-up. There's a lot of back and forth and that
Last
sort of
night's
thing.
SmackDown, though.
Yeah.
The Brood bloodbath.
Oh, it's so
I love
good.
it. Well, it wasn't even blood because he used black stuff. But
Yes, it's like Ica.
yeah, it was originally...
I think they just call it the Brood Bath.
The Brood Bath.
Yeah.
Back in the day when Edge was in the Brood, it was red, it was a bloodbath. I don't think you can really get away with that these days.
No, maybe not.
Even though anyone who thinks that there's actual blood needs to get their heads checked.
There's a lot of kids that watch, though.
Thank you, PG era.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this could be a really good match. I don't think there's going to be any more outside interference in this one because it is just these two guys. Edge hasn't really got affiliation with anyone. Rollins hasn't got affiliation with anyone. I'm just hoping for a good, entertaining, semi-high octane match.
Yeah, I think that'd be good. I don't know, I don't know much about the Brood from back in the day. I don't know if there were any other sort of gimmicks that might end up coming into play.
Not really.
No, cool. I was going to say I hope there isn't, because it'd be quite nice just to have a proper match.
I wonder, when Edge first started, before the Brood, and he was this weird enigma thing, he used to come through the crowd. I wonder if his entrance will come through the crowd, or if he'll just do or maybe he'll do the fire pit rising thing.
Ooh.
The Brood, if anyone hasn't seen it, the Brood used to come out on a lift on the stage. You'd have the stage here, the Brood would be stood there, they'd just rise up, and the entire thing was encased with fire, and then they just step through and down to the ring. It was really cool.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard that Brood intro, I started freaking out. I was like, wait, what's going on here?
You knew
then
exactly what was
Seth
coming.
had a white suit on, and I'm like, oh, I know where this one's going.
It looked like the force with which the black liquid came down on him, it looked like that would hurt.
Yeah, it did come down pretty heavy. Yeah.
Slam.
And it's so slippery, Seth trying to get up and just sliding all over the place. It's like an ice skating rink. It's hilarious.
It's very, very good.
Yeah, that suit, beyond repair.
Oh, yeah.
Let's be honest. Just chuck it in the bin, Seth.
Mm-hmm.
It's done. So who you got in this one?
Edge.
Edge all the way, damn straight.
Edge, no hesitation.
Because this is going to be the culmination of that feud, I think. I can't see them doing this match too many times.
No.
And I wouldn't want to see them doing this match too many times. I'd like to see Edge feuding with a bunch of different people, like dream matches. I'd love to see Edge versus AJ one-on-one.
Yeah, that'd be
that
cool.
would be cool.
But we don't want them to keep repeating the same match over and over again.
But this is WWE.
So they probably will.
Yeah, most likely.
I want a rematch.
So the next, we got 4 matches left, and all title matches. So first up, we got the Raw Women's title. Rhea Ripley versus Nikki A.S.H. That's the champion. Against Charlotte Flair. Yawn.
So first off, you know how annoyed I get with Nikki A.S.H.
Take it away, Leanne.
They started when she started the superhero character, Nikki A.S.H. And I think I can understand why they decided to start saying A.S.H. because Ash sounds too much like ass. But it's so long-winded to say, and the commentators say it so many times. Oh, Nikki A.S.H. did that, and then Nikki A.S.H. did that. And it's just say Nikki.
Yeah.
Because it's just taking so long, and it actually makes me laugh a bit when they say it one after the other. It's like, I quite like the character in a way. The superhero, super optimistic. I'm almost a superhero. I might fail, but I'll always get back up, and I can do it next time. It was nice to start with, and it started grating on me a little bit. It's a bit too optimistic. Always smiles.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll get back up and do it next time. Too much. I just need a bit of grit.
And the thing is, you go back and watch, I know you haven't seen any of this, but I think it was early 2000s with the Hurricane and his sidekick Mighty Molly, which was a superhero gimmick. They had the counterparts. So you had the reporter, Shane Helms, and then here comes the Hurricane,
Of course, the
and
secret
then,
identities.
Yeah. So they had that, and obviously everyone knew who they were, but that worked quite well because you had that dual identity.
Yeah.
This is just...
It's relentless optimism.
The accelerator has been slammed down, and it's just been forced to stick there. It's like some super glue at the bottom of it, and it's down, and it's not coming back.
What we need is for something to happen that will completely flip her into a villain. That would be awesome to see that just flipping over. So it would have to be something big though, because she's been beaten quite a bit.
What if this is something like she retains the title and then maybe through the Survivor Series in November has another triple threat match and isn't counted in the fall and does not get a championship rematch?
Ooh.
Something to really sour those apples.
Yeah.
You know?
Something, because I feel like you'd need... If it goes on too long with the optimism, it's going to really grate on me.
Yeah.
I like optimism, and it's nice to be like motivating young girls that they can do anything, and we've had quite a lot of characters that have done that for a bit, but after a while it's going to get a bit much. So if they do flip it completely, turn her into super villain, I think that could be really cool.
It's like, and again, going back to AEW, Darby Allin.
Yeah.
It's the same character, it's the same gimmick, but there's constant variations of it.
Yeah.
It's not just the same thing week in, week out.
No.
There's always variations, whether it's just the makeup or the way the entrance is done, it's vignettes. It's always some sort of difference to it.
Yeah.
Whereas WWE kind of go, here's Nikki A.S.H. Let's just do the same thing week in, week out.
Yeah. The same sort of matches, the same finishes.
It almost seems to me that they're pandering to the fans who don't want something different.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, that's good. Just stick with that. We do anything different. Screw it. Stick with that.
It's boring.
Yeah. It's the same thing week in, week out.
Yeah.
You know?
Like always having Charlotte Flair
like
in the
Roman
title
Reigns.
picture.
Yeah, and Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
We'll cover that in a minute.
Yeah.
But then, like, again, Charlotte Flair's in the match again.
Mm-hmm.
Yawn. Great. Like, Rhea Ripley one-on-one with Nikki A.S.H. I'm just going to do Nikki A.S.H. I can see why that wouldn't be a great match, because Nikki did lose to Rhea. I think it was on last week's Raw.
I think she's lost to both of them now.
Yeah. But Rhea decimated her, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Rhea's a powerhouse.
Rhea could be the super villain.
Yeah. And like, I think that's the problem, is that if you're going to do that, you're going to need to do something with Nikki to make her more of a believable person against people like that.
Yeah.
Like Alexa Bliss beat Nia Jax, but it was done right. It was done in a way that you think, oh, actually, she could actually do it.
Yeah.
You know, and not take it from Alexa Bliss, because she's extremely talented. But Nikki A.S.H. she is talented, but I don't think she's quite on that plateau yet.
No.
You know, she's getting there, but there's still a bit of a way to go.
I get that. That's what they're sort of trying to do, have her as the underdog that's...
But then you have her lose to Charlotte and Rhea Ripley and stick her in a triple threat match with both.
I know. Because
Like,
they want to get the title, I guess.
The only way that Nikki A.S.H. can win this is if Charlotte and Rhea just belt 7 bells out of each other, and then Nikki comes in and steals a win.
Which is probably what's going to happen.
But is that a superhero thing to do?
It's an almost superhero thing to do.
But if you're striving to be a superhero, that's not the right way to do it.
I think Nikki's going to win still.
Nikki?
If Charlotte wins, I might have to stop watching forever. Because, come on. If Charlotte gets another rematch... No, wait, I'm not going to say I won't stop watching if Charlotte gets another rematch, because she probably will. I think if Rhea wins, then that could be an interesting twist, but I feel like Nikki's going to retain.
So, there's a thing with Ric Flair recently, who's left WWE, and there's rumours he's going to go to AEW. He has been seen in AAA. Andrade fought Kenny Omega, I want to say it was last weekend, might have been the weekend before. I think it was the weekend before. Fought Kenny Omega for the AAA title. He lost against Kenny Omega, so Andrade is not the AAA champion. But Ric Flair and Charlotte Flair were at AAA. Ric Flair supposedly left because he wasn't happy with the way the WWE were booking Charlotte. Charlotte's also apparently unhappy with the way they're booking her. Now, in what aspect? I don't know. Is it that she wants to be champion 24/7? Maybe. Is it that she's also fed up with being stuck in the title picture? I don't know. I haven't got that information. That hasn't leaked out. But depending on how long's on her contract, she could end up going as well.
Yeah.
And joining her dad and Andrade.
So does that mean WWE will try and give her a title to try and keep her sweet?
But that depends. Is she sick of having the title?
Yeah, it's true.
You know, it's very swings and roundabouts. That's the way it is. If she's happy having the title, I can see Vince going, Sure, take it.
Yeah,
Just,
take it,
just
please
literally
stay.
handing it to her. Yeah, because he can't afford to lose someone. Like, I don't particularly care for Charlotte Flair. I think she's overrated, but she's a big name.
Yeah.
You know, and I think for WWE to lose her would be a massive kicker. Like Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan left. After his contract expired, he's no longer under contract with WWE. And that must have chafed Vince's ass so bad. And then to have CM Punk turn up in AEW, like, Vince, if he doesn't see AEW as a threat, he needs to get new glasses, honestly.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go. So, would they? I don't know. I don't want to pick on this one. I'm honest.
I don't think Rhea's gonna win anyway.
I don't think it'll be Rhea.
Even though she's my favourite out of the three by a long way.
I think with Nikki, she's obviously got new merch and she's selling merch. I think that probably would be the best lock. But to beat Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley, that's very unlikely.
But in a triple threat, you've got more opportunities in a way.
And there's no disqualifications.
She could turn into a supervillain during the match. Who knows?
This is a tricky one. I'm going for Nikki. Yeah, I'm going to stick with Nikki to retain. Because I think they're going to just milk that Nikki A.S.H. a bit more.
Yay.
Next up.
I might make it a drinking game every time they say Nikki A.S.H. Well, at least have a counter or something.
Okay, next up we've got the United States Championship. Sheamus will be defending against Damien Priest.
This could be a good match.
I think, much like Edge and Rollins, in the sense of a potential show stealer, I think this could be right up there with that. They're both hard-hitting guys.
Yes.
Priest can go, Sheamus can definitely go. Depends on Sheamus's nose. If this is just a gimmick and it's not broken to the point that it was. I know he did actually break his nose.
Yeah.
But I don't think they would clear him if there was any damage to the nose. So I think they're just using this as a gimmick now. But then they could lead that into the story. Priest rips it off, smacks him. It'd be great. It'd be fantastic. I think it'll be hard hitting. It'll be a good sort of slugfest as opposed to a flippy kind of match.
Yeah.
Kind of like Edge and Rollins. They've got that lighter sort of frame to them. They can do some really interesting stuff. Priest and Sheamus, I can just imagine just beating the hell out of each other.
Oh, yeah.
And just being great, you know. I like Sheamus. I prefer Priest.
Same, yeah.
You know, Priest's more my kind of person. He loves metal. He looks like someone from a metal band, and that's the kind of thing I like. You know, this is him with Aleister Black when he was there. I thought he was fantastic. His music was great. I love Damien Priest music, and I've been following Damien Priest since he was Punishment Martinez.
Yeah.
In Ring of Honor. You know, so it's not like, oh, this new guy's come up. I've been watching him for years. You know, and I think he's fantastic. And I think it's about time. Like, he had the United States, the North American Championship in NXT. Had it for a brief moment. They had, I think it was it Bronson Reed? They dropped it to. I think it was Bronson Reed who they dropped it to, who has also now been released, by the way. And it was a very short-lived reign, which was, I felt that was a pain in the ass, but then he went to the main roster and then everything made sense. And having him go straight into that high-profile feud with The Miz and Bad Bunny and John Morrison, that was great, and he had a lot of exposure, a lot of push. And going for the US title, I think, is definitely the right progression path for him.
Yeah.
It's not as prestigious as the Intercontinental title, but it's that stepping stone to the main roster, to the main event, as it were.
Yes.
And I think Priest in a few years will be right in that main event card. Like, him fighting the top tier guys is going to be fantastic.
Oh yeah,
you know,
for sure.
And he's definitely got the height, he's got the look, he's got the talent, and he's got the mic work as well.
Yeah,
you know, he's literally an all rounder, and I think he's fantastic. But again, the same thing, Sheamus is killing it with this run.
Yeah, he is.
You know, he's beaten Dimples. Was it Humberto Carrillo? Ricochet. He's taken on quite a few different people whose names escape me right now, but. Again, I really like Sheamus as well.
And he's great on the mic too.
Yeah. So it's a bit of a damn it for me, because I like both guys.
Yeah.
But who you got?
Priest,
yeah. I got Priest as well. I think Priest is going to win it. It's time to get some new blood.
But it's going to be a good match for both of them.
Yeah. Like, I'm surprised there's not an Intercontinental Championship match, unless it gets announced at some point later today.
Yeah.
Because Apollo Crews, they give the belt to him to try and get someone new in. And it wasn't awful, but it wasn't good either. And then they've obviously dropped it back to Shinsuke Nakamura. Yeah. I think that's a ploy to sweeten Shinsuke Nakamura so he doesn't leave.
Yeah, another one of those.
Go to New Japan, go back to New Japan, because he's I think his career is starting to wind down. He's in his 40s, I believe.
I think so.
And, Shinsuke's one of my favourites. I think he's fantastic. But Vince, I think now, is a little bit worried that some of the stars he actually likes are going to go to other companies.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with a lot of layoffs that he's been doing. A lot of guys in the back, there's apparently a lot of low morale in the WWE locker rooms.
I bet. Yeah. So all the friends have been let go.
And I think that going back to the points we make, is Apollo Crews, they give it to him, and it kind of fell a bit flat.
Mm.
But I hope that doesn't put him off putting a belt on someone who's relatively new.
Yeah.
Priest will run with this belt like a rock star.
Yeah. He's
Absolutely.
quite popular, I think, as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm surprised he hasn't got more merch on the store. Like, he's got a couple of shirts on the store, but some of them are a bit naff.
If he gets the belt, that's the window for more merch, isn't it?
Yeah.
He might have some waiting in the background just to press the button
Let's
when
hope
he gets
so.
it.
Yeah, let's hope so. So we're on to the co-main event then. First up for the WWE title, which is the belt that's on Raw, is Goldberg against Bobby Lashley. Good old Bob Lashley. Bob versus Bill.
Bill and Bob.
He's Bill and Bob.
So close to being Flower Pot Man. Not quite, but it's nearly there.
Send help. Please. Send help. I mean, these are just two guys, two massive, bulky men. I don't see this going long.
No.
Goldberg hasn't got the cardio for it. Like, I don't want to see Goldberg in a ring for any longer than 5 minutes, because I don't really care about
Do you want to
Goldberg
see
anymore.
him in the Hurt Lock, though?
Oh, I'd love to see Lashley slam a Hurt Lock on him or watch him tap like a bitch.
That would be good. He'll probably get some spears in, but if Lashley can get the lock
he'll
on,
probably get some spears in. He'll probably get a jackhammer in. Bobby will kick out.
Mm-hmm.
He'll probably slam him with a spear of his own, then stick the Hurt Lock on him. I fully foresee Bob Lashley winning this one.
Oh yeah, same.
The only way that this doesn't go down that way is I think Goldberg has 2 matches left on his contract. I don't know if that includes this one.
Right.
Only way I see this going down, if he is going to win it, is that he wins the belt and then Lesnar comes back to destroy Goldberg.
Interesting.
Because I don't, if my memory serves, Goldberg has never lost to Lesnar.
Mm.
But I'd much rather see Lashley versus Lesnar.
Yeah.
Something we've not seen.
Yeah.
God, WWE, can you get that concept yet?
We want new things.
I mean, Goldberg versus Lashley's never happened as far as I know, but still, I don't want... Everyone's wanted Lashley and Lesnar for years.
Things we want new stuff, but we don't want Goldberg.
Yeah, Oldberg. With his son Gage. Oh, God. Is it Gage? Gage Goldberg? I don't
It's
know.
something like that.
Whatever.
But I want Lashley to win. I'm going to say Lashley to win.
Yeah, I'm picking Lashley on this one. I think Lashley has been a lot better than Drew has.
Yeah.
With his run, because he's stayed relevant a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with, the curves with the MVP being like, hey, here's some women, and it dropped down a little bit. It's like, right, it's getting a bit stale. And Lashley's like, no, get rid of this, get rid of that, and going back to basics. This is me, just beating the crap out of everyone. And that's really, again, it's that you get a character and you do different things with that character.
Yes.
It's not just, oh, I'm the Scottish warrior, I've got a sword, great, awesome. Yeah, you got prop rock, well done, mate. You know?
Prop Rock is the best, though. Still want Prop Rock on his shirt.
Yeah. Then the last match on this particular card is the Universal Championship. Roman Reigns, head of the table, defending against John Cena. Going into SmackDown, I had Cena all the way.
Yeah.
Absolutely Cena all the way, especially with the Ric Flair thing, with him leaving and that. So Cena would be like, oh, he's the best champion of all time now because Ric Flair's gone and Vince is pissed off that Ric's gone, whatever. But during SmackDown, Roman said, let's make this interesting. We're in Vegas, let's make it interesting. If I lose, I leave WWE.
Yeah.
Now, unless Roman Reigns' contract is expiring or they're planning to do something different, that's not happening.
No, I cannot foresee that happening. As soon as they said that, I said to you, didn't I? Oh, that means Roman's going to win, right? Because he's one of Vince's favourites.
One of?
Probably,
Vince has been pushing Reigns
top man.
for the best part of 6 years.
Yeah, and it would take something huge to make him want to leave because he's probably paid more than anyone else, and getting all these
I think-
opportunities and screen time.
I think there's only 2 people in the company who get paid, and one of them's not with the company now. 2 people who work with the company that gets paid more than Roman Reigns, and that's John Cena and Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, so, I mean, it would be good if Cena won, takes him down a peg or 2, but he's been saying that if he wants to get the title, and then he's going to go off and do movies, and then he'll show up at WrestleMania, I think it was, isn't it?
Yeah, like a part-time champion,
Which, on one hand, I think it would be good to see, because Roman will be, like, put in his place and have to fight for something else to prove that he's the head of the table. And it would give him a chance to actually do some more.
Well, he can't, because if Cena wins,
stuff.
Roman's gone.
Yeah, that's true. But this is like before that.
Yeah.
But even if that wasn't the case, I'm not sure that they'd want the Universal title to be absent for that long again.
Well, they stuck it on Brock.
Yeah.
If they stick the belt on Goldberg, that's what's going to happen with the WWE title.
I know. They definitely can't get both of them part-time titles, right?
God, can you imagine? But then saying that would elevate the lower belts. The the United States and the Intercontinental Championship would go... Whoop.
And probably the tag belts would get more time as well.
When Lesnar was Universal Champion, I think he was Universal Champion, and I think the Intercontinental belt was on that show at that point. The Intercontinental title elevated itself because of the lack of that main title.
Yeah, but saying all that, Roman's winning.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to leave.
Yeah, I have no doubt that Roman Reigns is winning.
Yeah.
And never in a million years would I ever think to myself, like years ago when, I'd like to see John Cena win the title. Yeah. I never thought I'd ever say that.
But he's been so good. His promos have been...
Oh, he's always been good on the mic.
So good.
It's just his in-ring work irks me so bad.
Bit stiff.
He can't wrestle. It's that simple. He has like 6 moves.
Yeah.
And his STF looks like crap.
Roman's kind of similar though.
That's like me going, hey Leanne, here's a submission. Tap out. Because that's what his STF is like.
Yeah.
You know, it's so slack, you can fit a truck in through that gap. So, I like, going into SmackDown, before Roman said the whole thing with me leaving, I had Cena.
I wish they hadn't said it. I wish they hadn't done that.
Yeah.
Because I think it's going to be the same for a lot of people that would have heard that. Some people would be like, oh, the stakes are so high, but the people who sort of know a bit more and aren't as invested, I guess.
Yeah.
Just see right through it. And it's such a shame. Because now I don't want this to be the main event.
Can you imagine, though, that Cena wins and then Roman isn't in WWE anymore? What happens then?
Yeah. It changed the whole landscape.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see.
Unless it's like
but one thing
leaving and then he goes off for a few weeks and then like, oh look, I'm back.
Well,
like, you tell me what to do.
Like, again, going back to AEW with CM Punk, they did that years ago with CM Punk.
Yeah.
Vince, there was a feud with CM Punk and John Cena, and CM Punk's contract was expiring. He was fighting Cena for the title, and he said that when I win the title, I'm leaving. And he won the belt and he left. And it was supposed to be for a good few weeks. Like, he would take it, he would tour the world, he'd go to New Japan, he'd go to different companies, and he had the belt with him. Vince was like, the next week now, come back, that's fine. Vince, I just,
follow through.
And that's part of what CM Punk got pissed off with the company with.
Yeah.
Because Vince, he's kind of lost sight of what makes things exciting. Having Roman Reigns destroy everyone is not exciting. Having John Cena come in and wreck Roman Reigns is more exciting because Cena's part-time, because he's not there all the time. And there's this head of the table, and Cena's coming in, and he's like, here we go.
Yeah.
You know? And he did that roll-up pin. He basically pinned Roman Reigns on SmackDown.
Yeah, it was good.
You know? But yeah, so that's our predictions. We'll obviously watch SummerSlam after it airs tomorrow, and we'll put out a reactions video, hopefully by the end of the day tomorrow. Let us know what you think. Are you excited for SummerSlam? We're a bit meh about it at the moment. There's a couple of matches which could be good. A lot of it is going to fall flat in our opinion. Hopefully we're proved wrong. AEW is definitely on. It has to become on WWE's radar now. They have to pick their game up now. There's no way they can just rest on their laurels and go, they're not a threat.
Vince is probably still in denial, so...
But yet you go watch Rampage, you watch that part. Roman Reigns was mouthing off about CM Punk the other day. He can't draw like The Rock or John Cena. John Cena and The Rock were both shoved down our throats. CM Punk wasn't, and he still managed to get over.
Yep.
What does that tell you about CM Punk?
Best in the world.
Best in the world. Yeah. but yeah, so I mean, let us know what you think. Do you watch AEW as well? Yeah, so that's the match run. So we got 10 matches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 10 matches. One of those will probably get kicked to the pre-show, most likely. I'd imagine it's run for about 3.5 max.
Yeah.
I imagine. Which do you think is going to be the best match of the night?
Oh, I think
If you had to pick.
you look at the list. Edge versus Rollins.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
either that one or Priest versus Sheamus.
Yeah.
The rest of them just fall a bit flat for me.
Yeah, a little bit.
There's not really a lot to be excited about. I think the Arcade Bro versus AJ and Omos could be quite entertaining.
Mm.
Just for the fact of trying to watch Randy Orton at RKO Omos.
That'll be fun.
Like, the last few weeks he's jumped up, and like, fair play to Randy Orton, he can jump. Like, he jumps up, he grabs him, and Omos is just like, nope,
Yep.
don't think so.
It'll be good anyway. We'll enjoy it,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I hope so. I mean, 3 hours of waste time on it. Anyway, so yeah, let us know what you think. We'll be putting up the reactions video after we've seen it tomorrow. We're recording and seen it. Which match are you looking forward to? Do you agree with our predictions? Who do you think is going to win the different matches? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video if you liked it. That's pretty much it. The social medias is going to be listed in the comments below. Yeah, and we'll watch SummerSlam and we'll see you on the other side.
See you
So
tomorrow.
enjoy it. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. And we'll see you in the next video, which will be tomorrow. Bye for now.